Hi, everyone. It is Heather here with the Old Schoolhouse, and joining me today is Sherry. Her son Samuel came in first place in Division 3 of the NAHC from last year. Sherry, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to hear about your experience and Samuel's
Oh, you're
experience.
very welcome. Very welcome.
So, I would love to know, how exactly did you learn about the NAHC?
We were members of schoolhouseteachers.com when this advertisement came up, and I'm not sure if it was an email or if it was on the dashboard. To be honest, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it caught my attention.
So you are a schoolhouseteachers.com member. So that means for those watching, if you're a member, you receive a half price discount, which is an incredible offer to
Correct.
participate in NAHC. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah,
That was an
you're
exciting part of it, was to get the discount for sure.
so what made your teen want to participate?
Um, what made him or me want him to participate, Heather? Which do you mean?
You can share either. Yeah.
What made
What
the
was the
team?
thought for you?
Okay, so where'd we go? Okay, we blacked. So I wanted Samuel to participate because for homeschoolers, there just aren't a lot of academic competitions that aren't, to be honest, essay writing, and that's not his forte, and it's hard to get him to participate in those kind of things. But in academics, where he could study and take those practice tests that are available and then take the test. And then the fact that it's a national test. This would be the first time that he would take a test on a national level. Well, I take that back. He had taken the ACT. This would be the second time, so I didn't. That's an error. But the fact that it was on a national level, and he's a homeschooler, you just don't see a lot of opportunity, for that, just against other homeschoolers. And we think that the bar is higher. We believe that homeschoolers excel, and it is a great opportunity to get to compete against other homeschoolers specifically. Um, my son has Asperger's syndrome. He's academically gifted, and to be perfectly honest, there aren't a lot of opportunities either to compete against people who are at the same academic aptitude. And clearly, he met that in the National Academic Homeschool competition, as he did not come in first the first go around. So there was some stiff competition. And I think it challenged him and made him work even harder, after that. So, yeah.
That's really good, right?
Yeah.
To know that it is challenging, and that he was able to overcome those challenges and come in first. I love that. It's so good.
Absolutely. Yes.
And, these competitions have been around for public schoolers for many years, but this was the first year for homeschoolers. So I agree with you. It was an awesome opportunity for the homeschooling community to be able
It
to.
truly was. We were excited, and a lot of unknowns, obviously, because it was the first time. But it also was kind of fun to be the first and get to help work out the details of it for future groups. I have 3 more children, so we anticipate having some more compete.
Awesome. That's so exciting. Yeah, and it is. It's definitely very invigorating with the different, there's 3 different tests, and, you move up. You have the chance to move up for each one. So,
No, that's true. He was 17, so I mean, it was once and the end, because he's finished with school. He just graduated, so his opportunity was that one. But for the other 3 children, we could start at the Division 1 and work up through Division 3. So that is not something I'd actually thought of till you said that. But yeah, that's a real benefit. And I would also add, and it's not a little thing, that the monetary prize was an incentive.
yeah.
We were looking to, finish out everything that he might need that he didn't get in scholarship money otherwise. And so, yeah, that's been put into the college fund and been
Love
very
that.
happy. Yeah.
I love that you brought that up and that that's how you're using it and you're looking at it as a scholarship opportunity. That's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your main takeaway from having your child participate in the NAHC?
It showed him what he's capable of. He as gifted as the rest of us see, he doesn't necessarily see that. He doesn't think that he performs particularly well academically necessarily. But when you compete like this and you come out on top, it helps the confidence, level. He's looking to go to college. He's been a homeschooler, not a traditional schooler. And so, that's a whole new realm, an atmosphere. So to compete against so many different people, we don't know who else has, Asperger's or any other form of, what do I say, any struggles or anything that they might have to overcome. But that he did, rise to this challenge. It meant a lot to him personally, and again, we said that against other homeschoolers, because we would just really see that that's a higher bar.
Yeah, very,
very true. They generally outperform public schoolers. Let me say that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's very common. Yes.
It was exciting for us.
And what was the greatest benefit of the NAHC to you as a parent?
Well, on a subjective level, was seeing him be proud of his achievement and being able to see what he could do against so many others. Because, again, this opportunity, this type of testing had not been in our path. I'm not sure of another one, quite frankly. I think it's only one of its kind for homeschoolers. And I did a lot for myself and his dad as parents to see him independently study for this and want this and make this his goal and actually achieve it and be able to see what we have been telling him is that he could do this. He can, he has these gifts and talents that God has given him, and he should pursue it and not hold back, let God use him with those gifts and talents as he would. And, of course, the prize money. I'm not going to say it. It takes a little burden off of us, coming up with the extra funds to make sure that he's got everything he needs to get through college financially. Yeah. So, yeah.
Really good. Do you feel like your child is better prepared for college after participating in the NAHC?
He learned about the college application process,
right?
And part of it. So yes, I would say definitely in that respect. And then the wide range of people that he would compete against. He was put in a group of people that weren't all like him.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah.
And he achieved. He did well. Right. So yeah, I think that it probably does lead to more confidence, going toward college in that sense too. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely helping. Yeah, so I can't speak to the test prep assistance. I want to say that because he had taken the ACT already, but yeah.
Well, I think you made a really good point that he was competing against people that weren't like him, and that might be a fear of many parents when their child goes to college or the workforce or whatever. They're going to be in a different type of situation, and so this gave him that, and and he came out on top, which is awesome.
And it was as I said, independent about it.
Yeah.
I know that's, well, that's a big deal in our home, let me put it that way, because he's just, if you let alone, plus as homeschoolers, you have a tendency to do that, help them with everything.
Yeah, it's easy. And you have more kids, right? So it's easier with the oldest to let them, be more independent, and that frees up time.
At some point you have to. You don't get to go to college with them. So,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Do you think that the NAHC potentially saved you money?
Well, absolutely, the prize money did.
Yeah, and you touched on that. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know how else to answer that question.
Yeah, no, and yeah, I'm glad that you brought up the prize money, because I mean that is definitely a big draw, for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to share about. Well, you had mentioned a little bit before, but for parents not familiar with the NAHC, they might be nervous about how much involvement they might have to put into it, with these higher level math questions. They might be a little nervous about it. How much involvement do you think parents should expect, or what was your experience?
Well, I kind of approached it as you know what you know when you go to take this. And you're going to study. That should shore up what it is you know. But it also, I mean, in the end, it shows you what you do know. That was very useful for somebody who is finishing up high school. Where are we? What have you achieved? We've covered the bases, because not having seen any of the questions, I'm assuming, I made this assumption that it was a comprehensive exam. And, he would be able to see, and I would be able to see in the end to some extent, yes, we've covered the bases as homeschoolers, and he is prepared to face the new academics in college, let's say. I didn't do anything except say, hey, look at this contest. I think you could do well with this. I said, here's the test date, and sent reminders. Maybe
Awesome.
He does a lot of online back and forth, so I would email him, here's your test date, don't forget, and then well, of course, we paid the registration fee, and remind him of testing dates. And I just would ask him, are you practicing? This is coming. But he would say, yes, absolutely. He was doing it independently on his own. And then you want to make sure that your computer is working properly, your internet access, that everything's working fine, because that became apparent. That was pretty critical. That everything goes smoothly when you're taking an online virtual, test like that. So I would say that was I felt like that was my responsibility to make sure all of that would go smoothly for him. And then keeping distractions to a minimum. We have other children, other studying, but for the most part, it was very hands off for us. He took the bull by the horns, and he was able. I think he started this at 16. He turned 17 in the process. So if that gives you any idea.
Yeah.
He went for it.
Is there still another year, or is he done? Would he participate again, or is he done with high school?
He's done.
Okay.
He's done. He said he would rather take the ACT test again than to go through the rigors of this test. I'm shocked to hear that. But yeah, he's getting a job and moving on. At this point, he's ready. We're doing college applications and that kind of thing. So his life has just changed. Had he been a junior, I think he would do it again, this next year. But yeah.
And you have other kids, right, that you said that you'd be interested in having them do that. Would you recommend the NAHC to others as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I would. Again, for homeschoolers to have such a comprehensive academic competition, something that could show you and your children where they stand academically, Well, he's very useful. And I think that the confidence level I saw, increase for him, made it worthwhile. It's yeah, I would say it's definitely worthwhile. And I will have my other children lined up to take it too.
I love it. I love it. Is there anything else you would like to share about your experience, or anything else you'd like other homeschooling parents to know about the NAHC?
Well, I asked my son specifically, and he said he really liked that there were practice tests. That was very helpful. Okay. So having the practice tests to do leading up to it. I'll tell you, he did wish he could have reviewed his answers after the competition tests. He said he was able to do that with the practice test and see what he got wrong. But that final feedback, and that's just his personality too. What, I want to see, I want to correct, And then I had thought, just like I said, it's rigorous, and the tests, the kids have to take those practice tests. Absolutely. Right. I mean, there's no chance without doing that. And they need to study hard. If winning is the goal, studying hard would be necessary. And regardless, it's very good for college prep. Again, he had already taken ACT, but I could see where this would have helped, and it will help my other kids before they take ACT. And that's what we expect, or SAT, whatever, tests that might come up. And I would start young and start at Division I, like you talked about, and have them do each division. It adds another goal, I would say, for homeschoolers too, academically, to say, oh, yeah, I want to do better on the test this year. I'm gonna compete, and I'm gonna place higher. Whether they win or not, it was a lot of fun. The leaderboard, the ranking, it was fun to see those scores come out. And on top of that, I wanted to add, my son, he said that Mr. Pat Murray's CTC Math, we wanted to give a shout out to him. Aww. He said that was a strong foundation for his math, and he's looking into going into mathematics and computer science. So I know they were a sponsor, and so we got to talking about the CTC Math, and I just wanted to throw that in there. However you might use that. And shout out to Mr. Pat Murray, because he helped him a lot to build the foundation for his math skills. And I can say that for son number 2 coming along too. He agreed. So
I am so thrilled to hear that. We love CTC Math. They are an incredible company. So I'm so glad you gave them a shout out.
Well, yeah. I don't know if he would ever see that, but you're welcome. Hopefully I'm not too nervous, and you can use pieces and parts of this. My ums and my eyes, and